Think about mixing clay and sand every day, or about feeding chickens daily. Do you think you'd like to do anything like this? Sure, it might sound fun at first, but can you imagine dealing with rice crops 6 days a week? Seriously, some of us don't even know what a great life we are living, but certainly we are gifted. So I believe this presentation will influence what you think about the life we are living. At the potting factory, when making a pot, the first step is to mix the clay, sand, and yellow sand to make a complete mixture of mud. Can you see the sun? I'd be sweating far more than in PE class. The second step is mixing the mud and water at a 1-to-1 ratio. Boy, it'd be pretty annoying just mixing and mixing. After mixing sand and water, the clay will look like this. When I felt the clay, it was very smooth. This is what the mixture would look like after it has gone through the machine. As you can see, if it wasn't for technology, the potters would still try making the shape out of their hands. Even in rural life, machinery has affected a lot of the work. Some of this clay is used to sell to other places, or they are needed for different uses. After the mixture has been formed, the potter will use it to make the shape of a pot. Before, the factory needed one person spinning the disc and one person potting, but nowadays they only need one person because of electric mechanics. As I have explained before, technology has influenced us in all sorts of ways. This is the tool used in order to carve the pattern. At first, it looked like no use at all, but when I actually tried carving out of this, it amazed me how this thing could engrave patterns so well. I wondered if in the future, people wouldn't use these anymore, and pottery will all be made by machines. This is called a kiln. It is used to heat up the pot so it will become hard and solid. After the potting and carving has been done, the pot will go in this kiln for 48 hours. The heat is 1,100 degrees Celsius. Can you believe how hot it must be inside? Finally, the next step is painting. Look at how fast the man's hands are moving. He has probably done this all his life, or else he can't be that skillful. Furthermore, the painted pot will go into this huge kiln for 5 days. Wow, this whole pottery process takes hard work and lots of time. You can see the smoke coming out of the large kiln. In the future, perhaps there will be a more ecological way to heat pots even in villages. After all of the pot making has been done, it will be put into this house until the pot is sold. There are leaves on the roof, which I think makes the temperature cooler inside. And look at what the house is made of. Wood! I guess all of these factors cool down the pot and help it form properly. The pot making is finally complete. It takes 2 weeks to get everything finished. I think potters will be overflowing with joy and they'll feel pride of accomplishment. I'd be extremely glad if I had completed a whole pot successfully. Now, this is at the Bon Prasat village. This photo clearly shows that the villagers live in a rural condition. The flag of the Thai kingdom is waving. There is a sign that says homestay. You can see lots of green, and laundry is laid out on a string that reaches from the house to a tree. In one of the houses, 2 little kids didn't have their shoes on, were eating mango, and were wondering what all these people were doing. I think they were very interested in new visitors, since it was unusual to have a swarm of kids observing this place. On the other side, they were sweating and were outside so they could feel the fan from above. Their mother was doing her daily routine, washing clothes and dishes. I don't think I would be able to live in Thailand without aircon and without computers. Even if technology has changed rural life, I think there still needs to be more changes. In one of the shops along the village, there was a toy like this. I assumed the village boys would be playing with these toys, unlike city boys who play with video games. There was a bridge over dirty water. Perhaps this water is from a river. I wonder if village people get water from here, since it's the only place I've seen water throughout the entire village. When kids from our school tried going on the bridge, it made squeaky noises and I was scared it might fall. This is a grill pan completely made of reused objects. The half circle is made of an old motorcycle tire, and the pan has been used for a very long time. It is incredible how the villagers have such great ideas and know how to reuse objects, unlike many city people who just keep wasting. In this village, there isn't a specific farm, and most households just raise dogs, chickens, and cows themselves. If I had to feed, clean, and nurture all those animals by myself, I'd get exhausted in one day just by doing that. You have probably seen many of these vans around highways. On the back, people sit or objects are put. Probably 30 years ago or so, when they didn't have any transportation, people would have to walk, so as a result, would waste a huge amount of time. You've also probably seen many of these noodle shops around the streets of Bangkok. This picture represents everyday life where people are eating, reading books, or talking with friends. They all seem to be very busy at something. This is a spirit house. It represents what a lot of the villagers believe in. I think it's great how these people are practicing their religion constantly, even in their demanding and busy lives. Finally, this is at the Rice Institute. It is the first time I've ever actually seen the production of rice with my own eyes. When I stepped into the dirty and slippery mud, I really felt like getting out of the water. Even though people kept pushing me and I was hardly managing to keep myself up, I was actually having quite fun. This picture represents the stage of transplanting. There are two methods in producing rice crops. First, transplanting, which needs plowing, raking, seed bedding, seed soaking in water, sowing for 20 to 25 days, seedling for 15 to 20 days, pulling the seedling, transplanting, irrigating where farmers control water at 15 centimeter depth, cleaning the weed for 15 to 20 days, fertilizing, harvesting by hands, compressing, threshing by threshers with machines, drying, winnowing, and finally storage. This photo is the stage of threshing. The second method of producing rice crops is direct seedling, where plowing, sowing, keeping the rice seed in dry soil, raking, seedling, becoming a rice particle, and milling is done. This will lead to rice mill and cooking. Whoa, look at all the work that needs to be done for both methods. I don't think I would ever be able to stand all of that hard work. If I had to do this on a daily basis, I don't want to even think about it. Now I really feel thankful to farmers who work so hard, depending on weather every day, just to produce food for others. In conclusion, I now feel the importance of 1 grain of rice. I don't think I'll ever manage without thinking how important food is every time I see my rice bowl. Mostly, People just think of how much work goes on in the city, but actually, way more work is done in rural places, and they aren't even recognized. Every time you look into the rice, or even look at a carrot stick, think about how much work has been done and how thankful you should be for not needing to produce it yourself, and how you can just eat what's there for you.